and welcome. I'm Hrish, co-founder and CEO of SuperWorld, a virtual world in augmented reality. Hello and welcome. I'm Hrish, co-founder and CEO of SuperWorld, a virtual world in augmented reality, where creativity and entrepreneurship come together on one decentralized platform. From the Empire State Building to the Sydney Opera House to some of the more obscure places on Earth, in SuperWorld, our world is yours. Yours to buy, yours to sell, yours to create, and yours to explore. SuperWorld is mapped on top of the real world to create over 64 billion unique plots of land, with each plot measuring roughly 100 meters by 100 meters of real-world space. To give you an idea, one plot of SuperWorld AR real estate is about the size of Yankee Stadium. Ready to get started? Find land to cultivate for its strategic real estate location as a digital asset or that holds sentimental value for you. Buying and selling virtual real estate in SuperWorld is easy, as all transactions take place securely on the Ethereum blockchain, and every plot of land is represented by a non-fungible token on the ERC 721 standard. Personalize your world in AR through interactive 3D objects, animation, photos, videos, and text to truly make a world of your own. Ready to find your peace on Earth? Join us in SuperWorld.
Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Marta, and today together with our CEO and co-founder Hrish, we're going to introduce you to SuperWorld, and mostly we will talk about how 2024 is going to unwrap for immersive tech, Web3 and AI. I'm very excited, especially after having a longer holiday break. I hope you guys spent it with your family or whoever you love and enjoy spending your time with. And now we all charged our batteries, and yeah, we're ready to kick off with the new 2024 year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And how about you, Hrish?
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting year. There's already so much excitement in a variety of different sectors that, are connected to what we're building at SuperWorld. The Apple announcements coming out. They've made some announcements over the holidays, and some information came out about Apple Vision Pro. We see the excitement in the Web3 world with Bitcoin and Bitcoin ETFs, which is really creating this palpable excitement around crypto in general and Web3. And then AI has been hot now for a while. So continuing to see a strong interest there in the market and more adoption. And, we had a lot of news continue to come out about developments in AI. So yeah, it's been it's really exciting. It was great to be away for the holidays, unwind a bit. We took a break from our SuperWorld show, so we missed you guys. So glad to be back and excited to go into this outlook for the next year, review last year, and talk about the future. I think that's what SuperWorld's all about. Is we're all excited about the future of what's coming, technologies. How can we get involved? How can we, as a business owner, how can we, as a professional, how can we, as a not-for-profit or a philanthropy, get involved in these technologies? So what we're doing here at SuperWorld is providing that gateway, and so we're very excited for this show because I think we're gonna educate people about what's coming, and then really, provide a foundation for everyone to get involved in these technologies through SuperWorld.
And we'll also discuss about what happened for SuperWorld last year and what we are planning for this year. So it will be a mix of the general knowledge and also us sharing some exciting milestones and highlights for SuperWorld for the upcoming year of SuperWorld for the upcoming year. So yeah, let's get started, and just quickly giving an overview of today's session. We already did that, but just so that you are aware of the structures, we're going to talk about what is SuperWorld, including a few words about Hrish, and well, the idea of SuperWorld, especially for the new poll in SuperWorld. This is always a helpful introduction. And then we will go over quickly our special offers of this week, or general offers that are worthwhile knowing about. And then we will move on to our weekly topic. And in the end, you guys will have time to, you can also ask us questions throughout the session, but in the end, we will answer all the questions that you drop in the chat. So yeah, if you have any question that is bugging you, just drop it in the chat. We'll save it, and we will for sure answer this in the end. And also, if there are any relevant links coming up throughout the session, you can see that on the top left corner, there is a QR code, which will take you to our link tree where you have all the important links. And we'll be also dropping it in the middle of the screen throughout the session. So yeah, and of course, you're always welcome to say hello or share any kind of interesting thoughts throughout the webinar. So don't feel shy and just interact with us throughout the webinar as well. So yeah, let's get started, and just Hrish, please share a few words about yourself first in the video.
Yeah, so just to introduce myself for people that I haven't met or don't know a bit of our background in SuperWorld. So, my background as a co-founder and CEO of SuperWorld, kind of taken my career all across a variety of different industries that really kind of come together in what we're building at SuperWorld. So, started off in management consulting, worked in investment banking. I was at UBS and HSBC. Started off in real estate investment banking. As you know, we're really innovating in the field of virtual real estate, as well as how that connects to real world assets and physical real estate. So kind of started off in that world, was in mergers and acquisitions, as well as HSBC. Then was an investor at Spencer Trask Ventures, worked for an amazing investor named Adam Stern out of New York, who's one of our investors in SuperWorld, great friend, taught me a lot about the venture capital business. And in 2009, decided to go overseas to Eastern Europe to try to start a venture capital fund. Ended up being able to do that. Started East Labs with a couple of amazing partners. At East Labs, we invested in early stage companies. We were actually the first check into a company called Preply, which is now the largest online tutoring marketplace in the world, amongst other companies. Also helped, I'm on the board of Tech Minsk, which is in Minsk, Belarus, a company that came through Tech Minsk, which was acquired by Facebook as MSQRD, Masquerade. They actually do all the face filters for Instagram and Facebook. So got an early kind of exposure to augmented reality through that experience. And then after that was an early employee, first biz dev at TopTal, which is a talent marketplace backed by Andreessen Horowitz. So learned a lot about marketplaces and platform and how to scale those. Again, was an early member of the team and helped grow and scale that platform. And then prior to SuperWorld, started Rogue Initiative Studios, which is a film, television, gaming, and virtual reality studio in Los Angeles. My co-founder produced Call of Duty, Modern Warfare series, and Ghosts. And we're partnered with Michael Bay, the action director. And Rogue Initiative, what we focus on is creating new original content franchises. Film, television, gaming, virtual reality, all the way to amusement park rides and toys. And what I learned from that experience is, you can literally build anything you want in an engine, a gaming engine, Unity engine, Unreal Engine, a Michael Bay movie that looks like a video game, right? Transformers, or a Call of Duty game looks like a movie. All of that is built in an engine. And what happened about 7 years ago, or now 8 years ago, Pokemon Go came out. And my co-founder, Max Woon, and I saw that, and we thought, you know what? why does it have to just be Pokemon? You know, people are running around the world looking at this augmented reality content. And we thought, how could we enable anyone to be able to use tools to create anything they want in real world locations, whether it's physical real estate that they want to visualize virtually, whether it's, gamifying, going to a retail store, whether it's showing off your artwork or things that you're passionate about in sports, right? So the idea is, how could we enable anyone to create a world? And that's the origins of starting SuperWorld for my co-founder and I, and that's what we're very passionate about.
Okay, perfect. So you already shared a few details about the idea behind SuperWorld. So now just give us like a high-level overview of the platform.
Yeah, so SuperWorld is a virtual world. It covers Earth. So it's all around us. You have a world, I have a world, brands have worlds. There's an unlimited number of filters on top of the real world, which really means that anyone can create their own world on top of the real world, right? And you can add content anywhere in the world, right? Or make content visible from anywhere. So you can make that content accessible from literally anywhere, or you can place content in real world locations. And the type of content could be anything. It could be 3D, 2D, audio, video, photos, anything you want, anywhere, right? And then the idea is that again, you can monetize in those real world locations. So you can monetize from e-commerce, digital commerce, like digital assets and NFTs. You can create a live or virtual event. We have a partnership with Sports Illustrated, where now you can create an event, or you can buy tickets to events that are happening in real world locations. And that creates monetization in that location. And what we did was we divided Earth into 64 billion properties of virtual real estate. 0.01 longitude, latitude covering Earth. So you could actually buy those real world locations where monetization can be created, right? And the beauty of it is it can get created in the unlimited number of filters on the world that can be created, right? And so you can become a stakeholder in real world locations. And that's kind of the basis for how virtual real estate works. Ultimately, I think what we're focused on is, how can we create a gateway for people to get into these technologies? You know, how we started off, and what we're going to talk about today is the future, right? And a lot of people have a lot of questions about, how do they get into these technologies, whether it's AI or immersive tech or Web3. How do they get their business into these technologies? How do they market themselves? How do they, get into virtual real estate? What does that mean? How do they get into decentralized finance, right? There's a lot of things out there that are happening in the technology world very fast. And what we want to do is make these technologies very accessible. And so what we're doing is creating this gateway where you can get into SuperWorld, you can buy locations that you love, buy locations that you're connected to, whether you have a business there, whether you live there, you have locations that you know about, right? Because we all live on Earth. And so as we buy those locations, now we become a stakeholder. And then the next thing you want to do is build something, or place content somewhere in the world, right? And you can create a world, right? So it's very easy now to create a world in SuperWorld. And we'll talk about a lot of the features that we just recently launched, but you can come over, start adding content, and now you have your own filter on top of the real world, right? We'll talk more about it, but that's what we're building at SuperWorld. It's your ability to create your own virtual world on top of the real world.
Okay, yeah. So now, before we get straight into the topic of the future, basically the 2024, let's have a quick overview of the offers that people might find interesting, especially this week.
So every week we cover a new city. I love the world. I really enjoy travel, and I live globally, nomadically. And I actually find this super exciting when we cover new cities every week. And I know that our audience and, Team SuperWorld and our diplomats And everyone who's part of SuperWorld is very excited about the cities that we cover every week. And this week, Marta's from Poland, so I know you're excited about that too. So Warsaw is our city this week. Warsaw is amazing. It is a very important city in the world, very historical city, very important in the world right now with all that's happening in that region of the world. But the point is that we are highlighting Warsaw. And if you're from Warsaw, if you have connections to Warsaw, if you've ever thought about connecting to Warsaw in some way, a business level, etc., this is a great week to buy virtual real estate in Warsaw, Poland. You can buy 2 properties and you get 1 property anywhere in the world as a bonus. So buy 2, get 1. And then this week, I always get asked about our SuperWorld merchandise, which I'm wearing a SuperWorld shirt right now. We will send you a SuperWorld t-shirt if you get involved and buy Warsaw this week. So love to get you guys into some SuperWorld merch. A really great way to get some virtual real estate and get into some SuperWorld merch this week. And if you're interested in SuperWorld merch anyway, you can just go to superworldappstore.com. So superworldappstore.com, and you can see all the stuff we have.
I also want to add, regarding Warsaw and overall Poland, but especially Warsaw, I was really positively surprised last year to find out that Poland, especially Warsaw, is one of the fastest growing markets in Europe regarding startups, immersive technologies, Web3, gaming. So yeah, it's something that people don't really know about, but Warsaw is growing really, really fast. So it's a great place for entrepreneurs right now. So just also to highlight this, because I feel like people don't know about this kind of stuff enough. Yeah, but of course I had to share something about Warsaw from my side. And the diplomat, the diplomat program.
Yeah, and the offer that we have that's been very popular is our diplomat offer. Diplomats are people in SuperWorld that are evangelists. They understand what we're doing. Again, our mission is to build a virtual world that enhances your real life. How can we use these technologies to actually improve your life? And then collectively, how can we build a decentralized virtual world that improves Earth? Can we, we have a good friend, John Fredrickson, who's just writing into us. He runs a company called Immersive, which uses, the crowd to solve world problems, right? Using innovative technology solutions, right? And SuperWorld is very similar in that way, right? And the point is that we are using SuperWorld, a virtual world, to help solve these problems in the world, help educate people, help use immersive tech, Web3 and AI to solve problems. And so diplomats are those in SuperWorld that understand our mission and want to get involved. And we work very closely with diplomats in terms of brainstorming calls, in terms of understanding what they're looking to build, and partner very closely with them. And so we have a diplomat offer, which allows you to automatically become a diplomat. And the way to become a diplomat in SuperWorld is you need to own at least 5 virtual real estate properties anywhere in the world. And so this is a great way to do it. Get involved in the diplomat offer, buy 5 properties anywhere in the world, and we'll give you 5 properties anywhere in the world for free. So you get 10 properties for buying 5, and you automatically become a diplomat. And we're going to be soon recognizing our diplomats on our website and showcasing the amazing work they're doing around the world. So take advantage of that offer, and it's very popular as well.
Okay, so let's get started with this week's topic, starting with the immersive tech. Let me just quickly adjust the screen because we'll have a bit more content coming up, a bit more details in the presentation. So I want people to be able to see everything clearly. So yeah, Hrish, go ahead, please start.
So 2024 is going to be exciting for many reasons. And with SuperWorld, we're highlighting 3 kind of core areas. One is immersive technology, the second being Web3, and the third being AI. So we're going to start with immersive tech. So I'd say one big theme is multi-sensory technology. And, Apple Vision Pro, which is Apple's new device, is coming out in early spring, maybe even at the end of this month. The dates on that are still, I think, being finalized, but it's coming very soon. But the idea here is that we're going to then slowly start seeing other types of senses being put into hardware. So whether it's haptic technology, scented masks, being able to feel weight and pressure, full body suits. The idea is you're going to be able to really have this multi-sensory experience. And it's going to be something that you're going to see in gaming. You're going to see it in hospital settings for therapy. You're going to see it in training environments. And so, this type of technology is going to permeate our lives in different ways, and it's going to be multi-sensory, so not just a headset. So very exciting. Mixed reality, AR, VR convergence. Again, Apple Vision Pro, Meta Quest Pro from Oculus, from Meta, Meta Quest 3. A lot of headsets are coming to market. AR glasses are coming to market. There's going to be a lot of eyewear of various types hitting the market, especially as Apple Vision Pro comes out and people see what's possible, whether you can buy one or, borrow one or test one in the Apple Store. This is really going to open up people's eyes to spatial computing. And that's what we're all about at SuperWorld, right? If you understand spatial computing, you understand why virtual real estate is so important. And to be clear, SuperWorld's built on Apple. We're built on Google. We're built on Oculus. We're built on Niantic's platform. So we're cross-platform. So anything you see that's coming out in terms of this technology, we're already incorporating it into SuperWorld, or we're already building on these platforms. So we're very excited about what Apple and Oculus and Google will be building in terms of hardware as it relates to AR and VR. Yeah, more versatile, lighter devices. I think I touched on this, but yeah, you're gonna get a smaller form factor. It's going to be lighter. You're not going to be, necessarily tethered to something else. It's going to take a little while. I think Apple's device is going to be a great start, but I'd say, 2 years from now, that second or third iteration of that device is going to be really amazing. So watch those devices get lighter and more versatile. Immersive customer experiences are going to become more natural. So that device is going to open us up to start seeing and interacting with interfaces with our hands in real world locations, in our office or in our, home, or outside in the real world. Back to the Pokemon Go analogy where you pulled out your phone. With these headsets now, it's going to be much more of a native experience because you're not going to have to lift up a phone, which means that the customer experiences that can be created with applications are going to get a lot better. And again, our vision at SuperWorld is we want those applications to be accessible in real world locations through SuperWorld. So again, what we want to do is partner with companies that are building these types of applications, right? Whether it's Web3, whether it's AI, whether it's AR, VR, we want those things to be accessible through SuperWorld. So you can come to SuperWorld, find them, click in, log in, download them. But this is going to be a core part of how customer experiences are going to change. You're going to be doing things in more of an immersive type of form factor. So The second technology that we touch is Web3. So very excited to talk about what's coming in 2024 for Web3. So Web3 traditionally, as most technologies, really has taken a strong foothold in the gaming sector, right? NFTs, which became popular a couple of years ago, and continue to have important benefits in terms of the technology as it applies to gaming, as one example, right? A lot of these games that we know about in the world are centralized, and what that means is that the time you spend in that game is lost, especially if you cannot convert that time and the resources into other opportunities or into cash, right? And the point is that with Web3 integrated into gaming, you actually have ownership of digital assets. You have opportunities to earn income, you have interoperability, you have opportunities to become an influencer, in-game asset trading, rewards. Ultimately, if we're moving into these virtual environments, which we all recognize we are, well, in the real world, you own physical property. So if you're spending a lot of time in a game, you should really be thinking about digital property rights and the ability to own the time and the resources you're spending in that game. So Web3 in gaming is going to grow in a very big way over the next few years. So this is going to be a big trend. Web3 and fintech. Again, we've seen a lot of different news events as it relates to banking and centralized finance in 2023, and big bank failures and issues even on the crypto side with centralized platforms like FTX. And it really scared off a lot of people to centralized platforms. And again, just the FTX example, a lot of people think that was a crypto decentralized platform, but it's not. It was a centralized exchange, right? And so we're really dealing with the same issue here, is a failure of centralized finance. And with Web3, we're now enabling decentralized finance, smart contract-based banking services, which give you greater control and security. The development of DeFi applications, which allow lending and borrowing of capital using virtual assets as collateral. And, financial institutions are expected to offer DeFi via Web3 in 2024. We're already seeing, the interest with these NFT, the Bitcoin ETFs that are, we're hoping are going to be approved soon, and Ethereum ETFs, and Wall Street is definitely moving towards the ability to have exposure to Bitcoin and other currencies. And we're going to see a big influx of capital from traditional institutions into Web3. And as these things happen, applications are going to be built, and there's going to be more and more decentralization of these assets. And so Web3 and fintech is going to be a huge trend for us. And again, SuperWorld's right in the middle of this. We want to enable people to have access to virtual real estate and real world locations. Ultimately in the future, we will have a token that will release. We have an in-game currency right now, but in the future we will have a token. We're actually, looking at the market and, anticipating when some of these regulatory hurdles are cleared up. And so we're very excited about the ability to offer other services through SuperWorld for our super citizens that enable fintech and decentralization and decentralized finance. So brands as a service is a very interesting application of blockchain technology. And basically, the way to think about it is it allows users or customers to work with brands and to participate with brands, and enables them to contribute and be involved with those brands, maybe creating products, maybe providing assistance or ideas. But essentially, it enables them to get involved with brands as a service. And Web3 really kind of makes that more open. It enables brands to work very closely with brands and use other cloud-based technologies as well to make this happen. So this is going to be a huge opportunity for brands. And we're going to be having an offering here in terms of customer loyalty for brands to start getting into the digital asset space in SuperWorld through Worlds. So look for that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. So Web3 as a social platform is also going to continue to grow. And so, we're already seeing Web3 in social tokens, NFTs, in, community programs, in loyalty programs. But essentially, all of these Web3 components like NFTs, smart contracts, crypto, basically they have the ability, they have the opportunity for people to get involved together socially and become stakeholders in an organization, a community, with each other, with an influencer they believe in. But this is really, really awesome because it enables us to support causes and missions that we believe in. And this is a big part of how we think of SuperWorld, right? SuperWorld ultimately is a platform that everyone can get involved with. Right now, we offer the ability for you to buy virtual real estate, which is a location in SuperWorld. But ultimately, by being a landowner, a super citizen in SuperWorld, now you're part of SuperWorld, you're part of the community, you're helping to build in the community. And so Web3 as a social platform is something we've been doing for a very long time, but it's going to become very, very important and grow this year very big. Web3 in AR and VR. So again, when you're thinking about interactive 3D content, that content is even more powerful if it can be authenticated, if you can, own it, if you can interact with it in a way in commerce, right? The Web3, as it relates to creating and interacting with the world around us, is very important. So one application of that in SuperWorld is virtual real estate. So we've taken the geospatial virtual layer on top of Earth, and we've divided it into 64 billion plots, 0.01, 0.01 longitude, latitude. So we've literally taken space around us in the real world, and we've made that into digital assets. That's what we're selling when we say virtual real estate and real world locations. So this is an example of Web3 and AR, VR. Now, the other thing you can do in SuperWorld is you could create a 3D object or a 3D interactive, item or experience, and you can sell that. And you could sell that as a authentic, unique object, another digital asset. So you can create 3D assets in SuperWorld. So Web3 and AR, VR is super important, and it really relates a lot to property rights. It relates to trading and commerce. There's a lot of opportunities here. Customer loyalty. And this kind of goes back to brands as a service as well. Starbucks created an amazing customer loyalty program using NFTs and Web3, offering NFT rewards and experiences for their customers. I suggest every brand to get into this, and we'll have an offering at SuperWorld. So if you're very interested in creating a Web3 customer loyalty program, go ahead and write us or leave a comment below, and we'd be sure to contact you. We're launching that very soon, but we're going to have a way for you in Worlds to create a Web3 customer loyalty program, right? But Starbucks did it. Lots of brands are going to do it. We want to make it really easy for anyone to come in and do the same thing. And 2024 outlook also includes AI. AI is a very important part of what we're building at SuperWorld because it makes it easy to create a world around you, to create content around you, to create that interactivity that we're talking about. So a lot of the things that we're talking about as it relates to creating a virtual world and even discovering the world around you and interacting with people around you, learning about things and information in the world around you or brands or products you're interested in. All of these things really get enabled by AI. So let's go into our 2024 outlook on AI. So generative AI, I think is the fastest growing product in history. We saw what OpenAI has done with ChatGPT, Llama. There's so many other large language models that are really paving the way in a variety of industries in enabling all of us to have access to generative AI, whether it's creating something in Canva, creating a graphic, to being able to answer questions, to be able to create something about your own business or custom GPT. Generative AI is going to transform how we are able to create and interact with the world around us. Text to video, altered Ali mentioned, which is great, which is actually this slide. So multimodal AI models like OpenAI, GPT-4, Llama 2, Mistral, they allow us to use all types of data, text, audio, images, and video to create new content, right? So multimodal AI is going to evolve significantly in 2024 and is going to become a lot more intuitive and dynamic. So it's going to be a lot easier to use. It's going to be, when we talk about SuperWorld, one of our challenges is how do you get someone to be able to create a 3D experience, right? A lot of people are like, I don't know how to do that. Well, very soon it's going to get super easy for you just to talk and a 3D object can appear. You can upload that to SuperWorld, right? So AI is making a lot of the things that we're doing a lot easier for anyone to get into. So this is going to be very exciting. And we're going to be including these models into SuperWorld. So you'll start seeing ChatGPT and other LLMs and small language models as well incorporated into what we're doing at SuperWorld. Autonomous agents, basically, how can AI models create content and interact without human intervention using algorithms and machine learning techniques, right? And, utilizing multimodal AI and other frameworks like LangChain and Llama Index, these are very crucial, right? And so autonomous agents can do a lot, improve customer experience, lower costs in a variety of industries. You can go into a 3D digital twin, which we have as a service now. You should check out our digital twin studio that we'll talk about. But you can have an autonomous customer service agent, right? Answers questions and helps people look around at your studio or your store or your real estate property. So, there's so many use cases: travel, hospitality, retail, education, social. Autonomous agents are going to really enable us to, do a lot more and be able to, cover a lot more ground because they're able to interact with lots and lots of customers at the same time from around the world, and be able to have the answers, because we're able to kind of feed them the information about our business, as an example, right? So they can answer those questions. They can understand what customers want. They can learn from those customer interactions. So this is really going to revolutionize customer service in a big way too.
I am so thrilled about this feature. It both excites me, but also, of course, it's like scares me, but in a way that I'm really curious to see how, like as you're saying, it's going to revolutionize the entire customer service sector. Of course, it will be probably firstly adopted by tech-savvy companies and people, but still, like I'm really, really excited about this feature, about this solution.
Yeah, it's going to be, amazing, and we already see it, right? I mean, you have early versions of chatbots, but the ability of custom GPTs, of 3D holograms, to be able to just show up in your living room and assist you is going to be amazing. So we're very excited about that. We have our digital twin studio already launched. So we'll start integrating autonomous agents in there too. So 2023 highlights of SuperWorld. We're going to go through, just in a very quick way, all the things that we built in 2023. A lot of people are getting back into some of these technologies, very excited by all the energy that's going on. So I want to review what we've done this year, so you have an understanding of what's available, what are things you can do to get into SuperWorld. And we'll have another webinar where we'll go deep into different products and go into these products again. We've had a few webinars already about some of these products, but if you didn't catch those, we'll do another kind of deep dive into every one of the products that we're talking about here. So the start of 2023, we migrated our virtual real estate to Polygon. So now we're on Matic, which is a layer 2 chain on Ethereum. And basically, what that does is it lowers the transaction fees. So now there's no transaction fees, very, very low, pennies to buy a plot of virtual real estate. So if you bought virtual real estate before, or how transactions happen on Ethereum, if you have not done that, contact us. We'll help you get onto virtual real estate, and we can help you walk through the process, getting a wallet, all this stuff. But basically, the big idea here is this now costs very, very low pennies to do a transaction, and it's a lot faster and much more efficient. So that was a big move for us. Secondly, we launched a partnership with Sports Illustrated, and they added 250,000 events, live concerts, sporting events, and theater events all over the map of SuperWorld. And they created essentially the first world in SuperWorld, right? Which we talked about, everyone being able to create a world. Well, Sports Illustrated was our first world partner. Now we have about 55 other partners that have already created worlds as well. We just launched worlds recently, but we have lots more coming. But the idea is you can come into Sports Illustrated's world, check around the map, and you can buy tickets to real world events on SuperWorld, right? And then that monetization from those ticket sales benefits the area that the tickets are sold on. So you can buy virtual real estate in those locations where tickets are being sold, and you'll earn monetization from ticket sales that happen on your virtual real estate. So that's the linkage between the Sports Illustrated ticketing in locations and owning virtual real estate. So as a virtual real estate landowner, you can share those tickets, right? So for example, if you buy up, let's say, the virtual real estate around Yankee Stadium, now you can share the tickets to a Yankees game in SuperWorld, right? And if people come through, click and buy your tickets, now you're getting paid for every one of those tickets sold. And so this is an example of how do we bring a filter for event monetization in a real world location. So in this case, live concerts, sporting, and theater events. But the other cool thing is you can create your own virtual event. So you could say, hey, I'm going to do a Zoom call, and I'm going to do it in Times Square, and I'm going to charge tickets for that Zoom call. And you can do it right in SuperWorld. Create an event. You'll go to Sports Illustrated's website. You can say virtual event in Times Square. You can sell tickets, or you can even create a free event, right? You can just free tickets. And then people will come over, buy those tickets. You can use those tickets as NFTs as well. So we've integrated with NFTs on Polygon. And the point is you can create a virtual event in real world locations as well. So that was an example of, again, a partnership enabling monetization in SuperWorld for event ticketing. The third thing that we did was we enabled uploading of content on the web. So we've moved to a web interface. So you can find us at superworldapp.com, and just on the web you can click, create a world. You can click create, and you can upload content in real world locations. Even if you've created an Instagram or a YouTube, you can take that link from that Instagram or YouTube and click create link, and you can upload a link, and you can upload that YouTube video or the Instagram video to any real world location. So the point is you can create your own map of the world, which we'll talk a bit about. But the idea is we want to enable you to upload content from real world locations into SuperWorld. Okay. Does my mic work? I think I unplugged it accidentally.
It works.
It works. Okay, awesome. So the fourth thing that we launched is bulk buying. The problem that we had about a year and a half ago is people used to have to buy one plot at a time, right? And it was a lengthy process. Bulk buying makes it super easy. Now, if a lot of people just want to buy a neighborhood. They're like, hey, you know what? I know this neighborhood. I want to buy this neighborhood. And maybe it's like 10 plots and they're all right next to each other. Now you can click the bulk buy button and you could buy that whole area, right? The whole zone. Maybe you have an area of the world that you really love. You can just buy that whole area, right? And so bulk buying is what that is. It's an awesome feature. Look for it on the left side of the map interface. Click bulk buy, and then you just click, and you can just buy properties in one click. We just launched our SuperWorld X currency. It's an in-game currency. And what that means is it's not a cryptocurrency per se. It doesn't float on a market. We've priced it at $50 for 1,000 SWX. And what it enables you to do is own that currency, and then you can do things in SuperWorld. And then every action that you do in SuperWorld, you will also earn SuperWorld X. So if you build a digital twin, if you upload content, if you create a world, anything you do in SuperWorld, even just coming to the website every day, you can earn SuperWorld X. So we encourage you to come to the website, check on your property. You'll get a bonus pop up that's like a daily raffle. And we'll give you, a certain amount of SuperWorld X every day. So you can earn SuperWorld X. And then the idea here is as we continue to build out worlds, which we'll talk about in a second, brands will then be able to utilize SuperWorld X for their promotions. And we've already started testing this out. So we did this with Choice, where we said, hey, go and interact with Choice or interact with their world, and you'll earn a certain amount of SWX, things like that. So we're going to start integrating that into activations. And the bigger idea there is we're building what I call live to earn, which is an idea of, how can you do what you love in the real world and benefit from interaction. So ultimately, SuperWorld X will enable you to benefit from doing things in SuperWorld and, improving the world around you or building your business. Literally any action you do in SuperWorld, you'll earn SuperWorld X from that. And then you can use SuperWorld X to interact with all the other brands in SuperWorld. And so it's a way of really kind of power the whole ecosystem of SuperWorld and create a currency that really powers that. And so check out SuperWorld X if you haven't already. If you've already used SuperWorld, you'll probably check it on your profile. You'll see that you already have some SuperWorld X. You can trade that in for real estate. You can build a digital twin using it. You can get a business profile doing it. There's a lot of things you can do with that. The next thing is Digital Twin Studio, which we just launched. Digital Twin Studio now enables you to build a digital twin. The thing I love about this is this reminds me of like 1997. Okay. What I mean by that is, if you go to someone on the street in 1996 or 1997 and you say to them, do you have a website? Most people are not going to know what you're talking about. They're like, wait, you mean like Yahoo or something, like Microsoft? Most people didn't think about having their own website back then, right? Maybe some people, but most mainstream were still getting used to this concept, right? And the beauty of Digital Twin Studio is if I ask you right now, most people in the mainstream, do you have a digital twin? There's a similar concept there. Most people do not have a digital twin. Most people don't understand how that works or how they would be able to do that. And what we've built is an easy way for anyone to build a digital twin. And what is that? Well, it could be a 3D immersive view of your office. So if I want to see your office, and be able to walk in and interact with you as an avatar. If I want to see a real estate property that you own, that you're building, maybe it's not even built, and you want me to see it, what it's going to look like, I can walk through and see it. If you want me to see some artwork, maybe you sell digital art or physical art, and I can walk through your gallery. Maybe you want to do maybe you're doing a physical art show, but you want me to walk through a digital one because I can't be there in person. We can do a photorealistic, virtual art gallery for you. And it's all very, very cost efficient. It starts at $59 a month. So very, very cheap. And these digital twins can be incorporated with Shopify. So if you already have a Shopify website and you have products on Shopify, we can bring that integration into your digital twin. So you can sell products that you're already selling on the web. You can sell them in a digital twin. So I could literally walk in and see those things. And we'll do a more of a deep dive on this in the next SuperWorld show or the next one. So the next couple. And then the final product that we're really excited about is called Worlds. And so I have always been talking about how you can create a world, how I have a world, how there's an unlimited number of filters on the world. Well, this is the product that enables you to create a world. Come over to SuperWorld. If you don't have a world, right? If you've been listening to this and you're like, look, I get it. I don't really understand all of the things you're talking about. I want to make it really simple. Just sign up. It's free. And create a world. And all a world is it's a map of the world. It's your map of the world. Okay. Most people are like, wait, I use Google Maps. What's the difference, right? The difference is I'm going to help you monetize your map of the world. You don't monetize Google Maps. Well, in SuperWorld, you can own a city. You can own places on the map. Right. So that's why you want to have a world, because you can then monetize in those locations, not only from your world, but from the unlimited filters of the world in that location. So you could buy virtual real estate in those locations, and then you can benefit from everything that happens in those locations. Right. So if you have not understood a lot of what I've talked about, which is something that we're going to really work on here as educating people, the first and easy thing you can do, and it's totally free, come over to SuperWorld and click on Worlds and get your own map of the world, and then start uploading content to the map. Content that maybe has to do with your business, maybe about your, things in your personal life, things that you wanted to share with the world. And it could even be content you've already created from YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn. You could just upload that as a link to that real world location. And then you can share that real world location. Okay. So Worlds is very big. We're very excited about it. And this is the beginning of, again, Sports Illustrated was the first world, and now we have about 60 worlds or so already onboarded. So we're going to have 1,000 worlds, very soon. So the idea is more and more worlds, more and more filters of the world, then are going to all start creating monetization in these locations. We've been busy. So excited to tell you what's coming now in 2024. So I've talked to you about monetization. So live and virtual events, you can sell NFTs in real world locations. I've talked to you about digital twins and what we call v-commerce, virtual commerce inside of a digital twin. But one of the things that we're going to be doing is creating more ways to create monetization in real world locations. So maybe it's bookings instead of just events. Maybe it's hotels, maybe it's restaurants, maybe it's the ability to interact with something in the physical world. We have lots of different brand partners that we're talking to that want to start adding, maps of the world where people can come in and start looking at places and seeing 3D content or monetizing or clicking and interacting. So these monetization features with partners are going to be very exciting. Peer-to-peer commerce. Now, if you created a world, you probably want to sell something, or you probably want to market your business. You want to make it really easy to buy something. So we want to make it really easy for you to sell in SuperWorld. Okay. And so peer-to-peer commerce is something that's coming very soon. And we want to integrate that with SuperWorld X. And so again, we're gonna enable you to, again, get SuperWorld X or pay with SuperWorld X, and you can cash out. Okay, by the way, so when you get SuperWorld X, you can cash it out for real world currency, so fiat, US dollars, etc. Right? So peer-to-peer commerce using our SuperWorld X currency, but then the ability to cash it out as well. So that's coming. And then with that, you can literally sell anything, right? Because we're just going to create widgets for you to be able to buy and sell anything that you want to sell. And we're going to connect that to SuperWorld X. That's going to be very exciting. More brand integrations with SuperWorld X, again, to activate people to do things and earn SuperWorld X for doing things, getting benefits for collecting SuperWorld X, engaging with brands, doing things in the real world. Again, SuperWorld connects your virtual life and your physical life, and SuperWorld X enables all that to come together. Okay. And then the last thing, and it's coming very soon, and it's not the last thing because there's a few things here we haven't even talked about, but we've already talked about a few things, so I'll keep it limited to this. But this is one that I'm very excited about, which is our metaverse user profile. And we have a user profile right now in SuperWorld, but very soon we're going to upgrade that user profile. And the idea there is we want to enable you to show off your virtual life and your physical life. We want you to be able to show digital assets you own across every platform, whether it's virtual real estate in SuperWorld or virtual real estate somewhere else, digital assets that you've collected from other places. We want you to be able to showcase avatars that you have. Maybe you don't have an avatar. Well, maybe you need one, right? Showcase POAPs, showcase virtual worlds that you've created in SuperWorld as an example. So the idea is, how can we bring your physical life and your virtual life together? Maybe you have a digital twin that people want to see. So, again, right now, if you have a link tree, you're probably showing me like a social media profile or website. Well, what about a digital twin? What about NFTs? What about virtual real estate? We want to bring all this together in a very simple interface. So you can share that interface with your friends and say to people, hey, I have a metaverse profile. And that's what this is all about. We're very excited about that.
All right. So that was it for the highlights and all the reflections and milestones that we have achieved in SuperWorld. So let's just quickly go again over the offers for the ones that join us joined us a bit later. And yeah, let's then get started with the wrap up and Q&A. So yeah, let's go.
So again, our weekly offer this week is Warsaw. You can buy 2 properties in Warsaw. You get 1 bonus property anywhere in the world for buying 2. And this week we are giving away a bonus SuperWorld t-shirt. So if you buy properties in SuperWorld in Warsaw, we're also going to send you a SuperWorld t-shirt. And SuperWorld merchandise is very popular. So if you want a t-shirt, this is a really easy way to get 2 properties or 3 properties and get a t-shirt, and a great way to get involved in SuperWorld and showcase and show off your SuperWorld merch. The Diplomat offer is a really great way to get into SuperWorld and buy 5 plots of virtual real estate in SuperWorld, and you'll get 5 anywhere for free. So diplomats are also people that are very close to us. They're evangelists. They understand what we're building. They're first movers in many ways. They're changing the world. They're getting involved in these technologies. They're building their own communities, in different areas of their life around the world. And so we want to honor and recognize diplomats. And this is a really great way to become a diplomat. You can just buy 5 properties. So you need 5 minimum properties to become a diplomat. We're going to start showcasing our diplomats on the website and social media. They participate in brainstorming calls with us. So this is a really awesome way to become a diplomat, get 5 plots of land in SuperWorld and get 5 bonus plots and become a diplomat automatically. So now we're moving to recap and Q&A. So excited to answer some of those questions that I see.
Yeah, we got a couple. And actually, I also have a question for you. So let's first answer the questions and then wrap up the session. Let's do it this way. So I have 2 pinned questions from Anafi, at least for now. So yeah, can you buy land with SWX in SuperWorld?
Yeah, great question. Yes, you can. And if there's a button that says redeem, just click that and it'll tell you how many properties that you can redeem for the SWX that you have. We'll send you super coins and you can process your land purchases. We're trying to make that a faster, less frictionless, more frictionless process. But that's how it works right now. You just go to your user profile and just click redeem properties. Again, like I said, we are also integrating SWX with business profile. So again, if you have enough, you can already, just send us a message and say you want to activate a business profile. We'll also do that with SWX. So to answer your question, SWX is going to be integrated more and more into a variety of the features that we have in SuperWorld. And so properties is definitely one of those that we're incorporating with SWX. So in terms of the Sandstorm integration, Sandstorm actually kind of changed their business model a bit from the very beginning when we announced a partnership with them. They're less of a kind of a marketplace in a more general sense. So we're trying to figure out maybe the best way to kind of work with them. But yeah, very close to Sandstorm. And really, I think this question is what is the essence of creation in SuperWorld? If you're a business owner and you want to create content, how do you do it? And the way to do it is you can access a marketplace of 3D content creators, and that's what Sandstorm is effectively. And there's many of them out there. And what we see in terms of looking in the future here is that as AI continues to develop, it's going to be even easier to just, type something out and then create a 3D object or a 3D interactive experience. So I think there's going to be a lot of AI enabled content creation that's going to be democratized for anyone. So we're seeing a lot of interesting trends here as it comes to 3D content creation that will, encourage SuperWorld creators to start using AI more. And we talked about this earlier.
Okay, so that was the second question, but actually I also have a question for you, which kind of I think fits also the wrap up of the session, because I am personally curious, what do you think will be the most important trend for the upcoming year overall? And what do you think is going to be the most important for SuperWorld in the upcoming year to achieve the milestone to reach? So in general and for SuperWorld.
Well, I think that the most important upcoming trend is, I think that there's going to be a greater appreciation of spatial computing. And when I say spatial computing, I really incorporate all of those technologies, right? So, you can call it whatever you want. We call it SuperWorld, right? But it's really an incorporation of AR, VR, Web3, and AI. Those three technologies fit together really well, right? This is why we incorporated them all in SuperWorld. And because of what's happening, and we've seen it in AI, you see it now with the interest in crypto around Bitcoin and other things that are happening, crypto, DeFi, these meme coins, like people are getting back into crypto. And then Apple Vision Pro is coming out, which is going to be huge. People are going to start checking that out at the Apple store and their minds are going to get blown, right? And so, that is what's going to be very exciting, is when people start seeing and understanding that, they're going to start understanding what we are talking about when we say, a gateway into these technologies, and, how can people own the space around them, own, what property rights are in a virtual space. How can you create a digital asset? How can you link your virtual life with your physical life? And again, one thing I want to say, which I didn't say today, which is very important, is, our mission at SuperWorld is to enhance your physical life. So we want to build a life enhancing platform, not a life escaping platform. As I always say this, I always say I have 2 kids. The last thing I want to do is build a virtual world that sucks you into it. So, why that's important is, even though these technologies are happening and people are getting this greater appreciation for spatial computing, our vision is to allow you to utilize these technologies, but to go out there in the real world. Go out there and do things that interact with real world, the physical world. That's why we want to enable you to see and do these things virtually, but we want to do it in real world locations, right? So that's another interesting kind of stance that we have. And why I think it's important is because the physical world matters, your physical life matters, physicality matters. And so spatial computing is going to bring that content into the real world. So that's what's really important. And then also, again, our mission is, how do we use these technologies to improve the world? And I think that, we're already seeing it with AI, but again, in terms of spatial computing, we're going to see how these technologies can improve our lives, whether it's education, whether it's, making it a lot easier to do the work that you're doing, or to visit someone, or to connect with someone. You're going to be able to really, use these technologies in important ways that benefit not only your life, but the world. And so that's what I'm really excited about. And that's what SuperWorld's about. I always say, the world needs SuperWorld. It's like the world needs Superman, the world needs SuperWorld. Well, that's what we're about. So if that speaks to you, if you're listening to this and that speaks to you, get involved in our mission, get involved in SuperWorld. Love to talk to you and help you get involved in these technologies.
Okay, yeah, wonderful. So, do you think we can also treat it as a wrap up, or do you want to add anything else to that?
No, I'm good. No, that I mean,
Okay.
unless someone else has anything else, that's it's good for our first SuperWorld show. And yeah, I mean, I would say as a wrap up, we covered a lot today, and the one thing that I've definitely recognized is we need to make it a lot more understandable, like what we're
Yeah,
doing. And so if you listen to this and you were like, I got like 25% of it or 50% of it or whatever, reach out to us. Send us an email. We're at outreach@superworldapp.com. We have a live chat. You can write me directly on LinkedIn. I'm really accessible in general. Would love to educate you. Would love to partner with you. Come over to SuperWorld, create a world, and that's a great way to start and start learning about this stuff. So that's the idea. Again, this is a gateway because we want to help you. And if you're intimidated by some of this stuff, don't be. Just get involved in SuperWorld, and we'd love to help you ramp up. So excited to talk to all of you in 2024. Thanks for your support.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, thank you, Hrish, for all the insights today. Thank you guys for interacting with us, sharing your thoughts, questions, everything. And yeah, well, happy new year. I wish you all lots of prosperity and good luck in the year 2024.
Awesome. And go get some Warsaw real estate and get a t-shirt, SuperWorld t-shirt. I want to
Yeah.
see it on social media.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So, yeah, thank you guys. See you.
Bye.
Have a good